Every piece laid out here came out of that 2017 Lincoln Continental, and now it has to all go back in. Shouldn't be a problem, right? If you've been following along with the build, you know we cut up this Continental to convert it from a front-wheel drive V6 corporate bean counter car into a rear-wheel drive manual fire-breathing V10 monster. In the rear, we swapped in a Mustang IRS, so this thing is ready to take on all the V10 torques. In the front, we bolted up a 2020 GT500 subframe, which means we have these massive 16.5-inch rotors on our Lincoln Continental. But all that stuff was easy peasy. It was just basically all bolt-ons. But to fit this massive V10 in the engine bay, we had to cut out all this front sheet metal and fabricate a new firewall 3 inches farther back than stock, and add this big old transmission tunnel to wrap around our 6-speed transmission. So in this episode, we're gonna take all of this and put it back in the car to make it look like none of that ever happened. Long story short, we're gonna make it look stock. Let's take a minute to talk about today's video sponsor, BetterHelp. We both work full-time jobs, and sometimes we bring that stress back home with us. Problems with projects, deadlines, and just the daily grind can really impact our mood and our mental health. Just last month, I was faced with a tough deadline that made it difficult to come home, focus on the build, and put time into the build. I just felt like I didn't have it in me, even though most of the time, my relief comes from getting in the garage and wrenching. But some problems are just too big to face on your own, and talking with a professional might be the better option. That's where today's video sponsor, BetterHelp, comes in. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who's trained to listen and give you helpful, unbiased advice. It's as simple as going to betterhelp.com/BIY, answering a few questions, and BetterHelp will connect you with a professional therapist. We all like spending time in the garage, but we have to remember to spend time on our mental health. So let BetterHelp connect you with a therapist. You can do it all from your phone or computer, via phone call, video chat, or messaging, however you feel most comfortable. Visit betterhelp.com/BIY or use code BUILDITYOURSELF during sign up and enjoy a special discount on your first month. Thanks to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back to the build. Before we start with the interior, we have to give this thing a really good vacuum. It's been a couple of months since we last worked inside the car, and several spiders set up their homes there. With the carpet clean and spiders evicted, we removed the cross-car beam to start reassembly of the dash. There are a lot of pieces we need to put back together, so let's see how good our memory is. Word of advice: if you're going to take apart your car and leave it sitting for months, label and bag every fastener. Or you can be like us and spend a couple hours organizing the hardware and trying to remember what each bolt was for. Assembly of the dash turned out to be just as difficult. We didn't remember the order in which things needed to be bolted down, so with each new piece, we found out we put the last piece on too soon. A few hours and 100 screws later, the dash was fully assembled and ready to go back into the Continental.
Well, we're back in the car. We're test fitting the carpet. So this is one of the good things, I guess, about this car is that the front carpet is split in two. So we're trying to mold it around our transmission tunnel. It's not plain ball right now. We're trying to use a heat gun, get some of the, maybe stretch it in some areas, mold it around. We started on this side. It's actually working pretty well. We're trying to figure out where the wires can go. We're trimming some of these plastic pieces that were holding them down.
You might be able to use the stock dead pedal.
That'd be nice. Cool. That'd be nice.
Center console is going to be big work.
That's the big one, right? We gotta get the carpet fitted so we can fit everything around it. We struggled to get the dash to mount to the car, but we quickly realized that one of the vents was hitting our new firewall and wasn't letting us push the dash against the windshield. So we decided to ditch the vent. Not like it's doing anything anyways. We got rid of the stock airbox after all. That will be a problem for a later day. Alright, it's looking like nothing ever happened in here. So now with this on, we can really see how much room we have in the dash to fit all our fuse boxes.
HVAC box?
Sure, yeah, whatever you want. The goal is to try and bring as many of the harnesses and wires from the engine bay in here to have as clean of an engine bay as possible. You know, we have a glove box, which we're thinking we're gonna gut so that we can fit stuff in there. We have a pocket behind this carpet.
We have this airbag hole.
Right.
We're not gonna put the
airbags
airbag
in there, so we can really tuck a
That's actually pretty
fuse
big.
box in there. Yeah, this thing is looking a step closer to a stock Lincoln Continental. Yeah, that's the big one.
Yeah.
So let's bring the center console and figure out what we got.
So we got the stock center console here, and it doesn't quite sit low enough. The trans tunnel is significantly more girthy than it was before. So we got like these pins here that align this center console plastic, and they're way off from where they need to go. So really got to set this thing down. We're probably going to end up cutting. I don't think we could heat and soften this up to expand it because it looks like it's glass filled, but we're going to try it anyway, I think. Let's get this thing sunken down nice and low. Shouldn't be able to tell.
We used a small air saw to cut away at the base of the center console, and it only took a few cuts before we were able to mount it low enough to align it with the dash. Fortunately, we were still able to tuck the wire harness under it like it was in stock form. We made sure to clean all the connectors really well before reconnecting everything back up. We also found some damaged wires, but nothing a little electrical tape can't fix. Then, it was just a matter of getting the rest of the interior bits clipped in, and the interior was looking as close to stock as it's been in a very long time.
Oh, shit. Transmission tunnel? What transmission tunnel? We have a stock Lincoln Continental. Everything is where it needs to be. Everything looks stock. All we had to do really was lower this, there's like this spacer piece you saw us working on, and we just had to cut the bottom up to fit the tunnel. But this thing was designed by Ford to be rear-wheel drive, basically. That's, I think the conclusion here. So we're gonna have, you know, the shifter in this location. So now we know the answer to the question, is it gonna look stuck inside? Absolutely. Now we just gotta take this harness, connect everything together, and it all should work like before we started working on the car. And then we're probably gonna end up going through this, cutting out any extraneous stuff, just so we could make it package easier, because the goal is to get everything inside. And you're not gonna know that thing is a V10 rear-wheel drive Lincoln Continental.
All right, then here we go. Everything should work. We'll see. Okay, we got
Fuel pump, I heard.
We got interior lights. We have lights in the back.
Brake lights.
Let's see if the brake lights work. Pressing the button.
Oh boy.
That switch is supposed to turn them off when you press it, and it's not working. So that means check if we're getting power to the dash, because nothing has flickered or doesn't look like we're getting any power to the dash. Nothing's working. None of the buttons.
Oh.
The doors also work, right? The open and
the
close.
lights are working.
So there's things that work, or things are getting power, except for this thing. Why? All right, we're gonna try the door. That was the only thing that.
Grasping at straws here now.
Yeah, I mean, we're hoping that the door somehow completes the circuit, wakes up the BCM. I don't know, but the door is one of the only things we didn't have plugged in that we did before we took everything apart. So if hopefully that'll do it. If not, we're in serious trouble here.
Before trying again, we checked all the wires and grounds in case we missed something the first time. Unfortunately, no luck. Still no power to the dash. The door buttons weren't doing anything either. Oddly enough, the passenger seat was getting power, so we can move that seat.
We failed, guys. Nothing's working. We don't know what the hell's going on, so we're hoping there's just a loose ground. Some connection back there is missing. That'll fix everything. We can go get ice cream, and everyone's happy. So we'll see you in 5 minutes after we connect the harness and plug everything back in. Okay, bye. Let's go. Let's find out loose ground we left out.
Okay, I think that's it.
It's simple.
Nope. Still no luck. All right, so we got everything taken out from the car just so we could take a look at it. But I was thinking last night, how did we ground 4 points? We needed to ground 4 points with only 3 wires. So I think we missed the ground, and looking at prior evidence, we did. So now we got it ground properly.
Yeah, now we got double ground to the frame just cause. And now we're grounding everything to the IP and then to the battery. So that should cover everything. And
so the key is that the light on this button comes
yeah,
on.
we get power.
You ready? And the dash.
And a dash.
You ready?
Okay.
Here we go. That's not the answer.
That is not the answer.
Oh, this is on though.
Oh, okay. This is getting...
Oh, it's on, it's on.
Oh yeah, okay, there we go. Okay, well we're getting power, which is more than we were getting before. So it was definitely a ground. Now we have a bunch of things unplugged from the body control module because most of those connections are in the car. So I think now we're gonna throw this back in the car, plug everything back in, and we should get function on everything.
Tomorrow.
Ready?
No.
So we got everything bolted or mounted back up. We have everything grounded properly this time. So now, this is now the final test. If this doesn't work, we are in big trouble. We're gonna grab both keys.
Ready?
No,
Both?
I'm just grabbing them.
Do what? Will that confuse it?
Hit it. Oh, no, okay.
Hit the unlock button. Hit the...
No, okay, see.
No,
okay, it turned off the alarm.
Oh. Come on, Continental.
Hold on.
Come on, Continental,
We
baby.
may have something here.
Wait, don't fuck with the wiring.
We have, the screen is on even though there's nothing displayed. Oh. Guys, Continental is back on, baby. Oh, we got the radio too. Oh, should we?
Oh, we need to go to the service.
We need to go for service. Guys,
Brake lights aren't on.
everything is on. Fucking every single. Oh my god. Memory recall, adaptive steering fault,
Oh shit, the adapter.
driver door fault use. Oh, wait, why is that giving us a fault?
Use? What? What does that even mean? Keep recording so we could have these. All those warnings, I don't know what we're doing with though.
Everything is on. Let me see if we
Crank
got
that bitch up.
we got audio. I
All right,
wish
this is
I
good.
was a cowboy. Woo, baby.
Diego's still not convinced he needs AC, but I think right now he's sweating pretty good. And when he feels this fan come on, that's all we gotta do is plumb this and then the condenser.
And all the box and stuff. But wow,
I
everything still works.
So we're gonna put the harness in there, put all the components, and go through and check to make sure we have function as expected for every piece. We got a list of everything we expect to work, and now we're just gonna make sure it works. First thing I wanna check is the fob. Let's make sure the greeting works. One of the items we need to get to work are the headlights. And this Continental is a base model, so it originally had the stock HID headlights. We went out and bought the black label or higher trim LED headlights. There's some steps that need to be done to get this thing to work with the car. So right now, when we plug it in, the lights are just gonna be on. And then also the turn signals don't work on this properly. So this will switch between yellow and white when the turn signals are operating, but there's no connector on this. So we have to figure out this pin out and get the turn signal plug to interface with those new headlights, and hopefully everything will work. But let's get those put on and see what they look like. So yeah, you can see as soon as I plug it in, those three come on. This LED will light up when I approach with the key, so that's working. no 120 volt. I'm not sure what's going on there. So we got multiple racks here. This is the stock Lincoln Continental rack. This is a Mustang rack that we got with the one of the subframes. And then we have the GT500 rack that's in the car, mounted on the GT500 subframe. And they all seem to do the same thing where they communicate. If I unplug one of the plugs, any of those two plugs for the rack, on any of them, I get an error in the cluster telling me that the rack communication is not there. So the rack is communicating, but we don't have any assist. So I don't have power assist right now, even though the key is on. So I think the problem though is we're only getting to accessory mode. We're not achieving a full key on, and we have a few things missing in the car. So maybe that's going to be a future problem we got to figure out to try to get the key to go fully on so we could get power to the rack. And the most important feature, the Lincoln emblem. It works.
We're taking a road trip. We're driving.
Turn left on I-75.
We're driving all the way to Traverse City, which is like a 5-hour drive from where we are, to pick up some fancy seats for the Lincoln. So we'll show you guys. We're still not sure if we're actually going to get them because they've been out on in the open in a wrecked car for like a year. So we're hoping the leather is good enough that it held up, but
hopefully it's not a waste of a day. We could be finishing other stuff, but here we go.
Yes, we are open. It's the first time they're gonna see an EV in their life.
I know, we're probably gonna break some necks.
Do you think they have a charger? And they need a top.
Dodge Charger? Hey, this looks like the place you went and got your V10 from.
Oh yeah, it does.
Alright, so where are we going?
Row H02.
Where?
Wait, I thought it was white. Oh, okay, I see it. Oh my god, it's like freaking, I shouldn't have worn shorts.
Oh shit.
Jesus Christ.
Is there gonna be rattlesnakes or something?
Oh, no, there's no rattlesnakes in Michigan, dude.
Are you sure?
I have no idea.
This is a good place for them to hide. That's for sure.
Okay, the back doesn't look bad.
Well, okay, get to the front. Watch it. Not bad. 9. It's 9 out of 10.
No.
Yeah.
From start to finish, this is one of the most difficult pieces of gymnastics I've ever witnessed.
Honestly, I don't see any.
It's kind of rough back here.
So here's a better look at the back seat. It looks pretty good. Like honestly, it looks like they were trying to take this cover off though. It's unzipped, but everything else looks okay. We're missing this corner piece. It's that one over there. So we're gonna go see, and then maybe, hopefully it's in the trunk maybe. Because otherwise, I don't know how we're gonna get that piece if it's missing.
We don't know if this motor is gonna work. Hold it. Oh, it's not. We need it to go forward.
Yeah.
Ready?
And go for it. Oh.
Hallelujah.
Alrighty. But you gotta go the other way. There you go.
Oh boy. We hit the motor load.
All the seats. Everything we needed, we got.
Now we're gonna get caca brown seats. Once we got the seats back home, we gave them a good deep scrub. They were so dirty, it was hard to tell what was damaged leather or just dirt. To our surprise, with the exception of one small mark on the driver's seat, all looked basically brand new after the wash. Score. Time to step up the interior game. I can't wait to sit in these seats and dial them perfectly to my behind with the 30-way adjustments and then getting a relaxing massage. Hopefully the electronics still work after that hose down. So there we have it, fully stock looking interior. You've sitting here, you would never know this is a V10 rear-wheel drive manual swapped Lincoln, and that's just what we were going for. We upgraded the seats. Now we got the black label fancy brown seats. We got the black label headlights, so this thing's almost a black label now. We do have a few things to work on now. So like I mentioned, the AC, we are going to put in AC. We just got to figure out where now we're going to put the condenser. We already got a pump on the engine, so we got to route lines, mount the condenser, mount the blower fan. Then getting that whole harness, you know, we had the mess of harness in here. We got to tuck that away. We got some room back here, so it's going to go in there. And then we got to put in the wiring we added for the engine, the power, all that stuff. You might be asking, well, it looks all stock and everything, but where's the shifter? Well, she's in there. So we're going to be cutting this out and trying to get the shifter to mount inside this so you can't see it. And then we're going to have some little special thing to get that to work. But we'll show you guys what we got in plans later. So we'll work on that, but you'll never know. You just see this in a car show and you go, what's the Continental doing here? Well, there's some little secrets going on. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.